I'm good, Dr. Hill. How are you? I'm not from Minnesota, but I got a lot of love for my Minnesota folks. So we're streaming on all platforms now. Talk about demand avoidance and autism. So let's talk about demand avoidance and autism. I am from Ghana. I'm from Ghana, West Africa, West Side, West Side, West Side, West Side, West Side. We don't talk a lot about mental health in Africa, so it's something that I do want to do eventually because I know we have neurodivergence out there. We have um, ADHD folks, autistic folks, people with dyslexia in Africa, but we're not talking about that. So that's gonna be one of my missions, one of my goals. We will talk about demand avoidance and autism, but while I'm on the stream and while Dr. Hill is also on the stream, let me say that a big reason why a lot of people don't get the diagnosis in time is because providers don't know what they're doing. And when I say providers, I'm also talking about myself. I'm not the smartest cookie in the cookie jar, whatever people say. There's a lot that I can learn, and I'm a student forever. However, when providers do not know what autism looks like, when they don't know what ADHD looks like, when they don't know what demand avoidance looks like, you'll get the diagnosis in time, or you get misdiagnosed, and you continue to search for diagnosis that better explains the symptoms that you exhibit. So until you can get that, we're kind of screwed, but all hope is not lost. So if you are a provider and you want to learn more about ADHD, autism, diagnosing mental health conditions, or if now I'm not telling you not to send this to your doctor because it could be a little disrespectful to send your doctor to additional training. Um, but if you are a provider who feels as if you would benefit from additional diagnostic support to help you identify these conditions a little bit easier, please click the link in my bio and then you can join Dr. Hill's Psych NP Bootcamp. So I just want to say that. DNP, Doctor of Nursing Practice, the person who asked that question. All right, so shout out to my people on Facebook. Shout out to my people on TikTok. Shout out to my people on YouTube. Creative Fifi, happy to see you. Joy, happy to see you. Meg from Maine on Facebook. It is a pleasure to see you. Someone said that the brother is autistic and have bipolar too. Yeah, you can have autism and bipolar disorder. You most definitely can. All right, so also Twitch. Shout out my Twitchers. I'm an NP, going back for my Psych NP. NBNP, check the link in my bio. I think you could benefit from the Psych NP Bootcamp. If it's something that doesn't benefit you, then it's all good. I want to make sure that this stuff helps you. If it's not a help, then move on. But I truly do believe that it could be extremely helpful, especially when you're a provider and you don't see a lot of ADHD, you don't see a lot of neurodivergence, so on and so forth. For those of y'all watching home, can y'all let me know if we're streaming live on Twitch before let me see. I'm very new to Twitch, but I'm gonna get better at it. And NBNP says before or after. What do you mean, please? Your videos made me go get assessed. Autism and ADHD. I hope your life is full of love and health. Oh, I love those comments. Let me see. People always want to call me when I'm live streaming. Those comments mean a lot to me because I make this content because I enjoy it and I feel like I'm good at it and I enjoy my community. Y'all have changed my life. And when you're able to help people out, it does a lot for your autonomy. We're talking about demand avoidance today. When you help people out, it makes you feel capable. So you're not as irritable, you're not as frustrated. Every neurodivergent individual out there should be helping somebody else out because we're gonna have to ask for help. For a lot of different things. At least I need help with a lot of different things. So my Twitchers, let me know if y'all see me on Twitch. Let me know. Lupita, I appreciate you. Oh, I'm always repping Augusta, Georgia. I got so much love for Augusta, Georgia. I will always rep Augusta, Georgia. Jonah on LinkedIn. Jonah, I'm happy to see you. LinkedIn squad, I'm happy to see y'all. Lucy on Facebook said, what I've seen about it, it matches my son to a T. Neither one of us have been diagnosed, but it's absolutely him. If you struggle with demand avoidance, it could be helpful to get that autism assessment. Now, you know what I'm talking about. Or, maybe you do. Hopefully you do. Dang, why are they making it so hard to be on Twitchers? Can y'all see me on Twitch? Twitch. Dr. Carter, I don't know if my Twitchers can see me. And do you even say Twitchers, or is that kind of lame? If it's lame, let me know. I want to make sure that I'm in with the times. So if that's not how you say it, and I'm bugging, just let me know. Let's see, because that's what I'm waiting on right now. Well, it helped to have my Twitch password, but I'm on the laptop. What's going on? Doctor of nursing practice. To answer your question on TikTok, Lucy says your videos make me realize how neurodivergent I have been and really need a diagnosis. Lucy, I appreciate that. And neurodivergence is not something that just happens on a random Tuesday in sixth grade. You don't go to field day and you come back home and it's like you brought autism from the playground. You were born with it. You just didn't have awareness about what was going on. And over time, as you got more information, maybe you watch more TikToks or you watch more content on Facebook, whatever the case may be, you start to read up on stuff that made you feel as if that was your experience. That's normally how it starts. It starts off with you watching a couple of videos, or you'll talk to a friend, and then the next step is you Google 15 signs that I may be autistic, or what are the signs that I have ADHD, or what are the signs that my wife has bipolar, or what are the signs that my husband is undiagnosed dyslexic, or whatever the case is. But when once that starts to happen, it's actually pretty exciting because you go on this quest for a diagnosis. And once you get that, it makes life much easier. And I'll tell my diagnosis story while I'm trying to get into Twitch. So I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was 26 years old. I knew I had it my whole life, but we didn't have health insurance growing up. I didn't want to be the kid who goes to his parents and we're struggling to keep the lights on, and then I'm like, "Hey, mom, dad, can y'all take me to the doctor? I can't focus. I can't pay attention in class." I felt bad for even asking about that. And now, obviously, I know that ADHD diagnosis is it's key. Once you have it and you understand yourself, you place yourself in a good position to deal with things like executive dysfunction, the mood swings, emotions being up one day, the next day they're being down. All that stuff can be quite frustrating. All right, so I just checked. We are live on Twitch, so I'm good. I'm good. Hopefully my TikTok signal's not lagging too much. It says that it is lagging, but hopefully it gets better. Shout out to all my Facebook OGs. All right, I promise I will talk about the man avoidance here just in a second. I know I keep getting distracted, but shout out to all my Facebook OGs: Stephanie, Megan, Colby from West Virginia, Leilani from Tennessee, the whole squad. I appreciate y'all. This year has been a systems building year for me, getting the right team in order in place, and it's been maybe the most frustrating because now social media is not just a game anymore. It's like it's what I do for a living. So trying to put all the right pieces in place has been hard as it relates to going live on a consistent basis and all that stuff. But I believe that we've always had the right people. Not always, but we have the right people now, and they're in the right places for me to be consistent with the streaming. The content has always been consistent, but the streaming will be much more consistent at this point. And I'm very excited to show y'all the behind the scenes of my life. I'm a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I am nervous, because I'm like, what are y'all gonna say when, I show, my homies on this stream, I show my old lady on this, it's a big step for me, guys, but I'm excited. Let's see what Jonah said. Jonah, I'm not sure what message you sent me, but the team will definitely take a look at it. We'll definitely take a look at it. Love of the show for Andrew, who has an autism assessment on the 4th. Keep in mind that you can be assessed with autism via telehealth. You don't have to go to the doctors. I mean, it helps if you can, but telehealth allows us to get diagnoses without having to like show up to the actual, you know, facility. Stephanie, I appreciate you. Shout out to all the OGs. Shout out to all the OGs. Recycling guy, what's up? What's up? Grateful for your attention. All right, y'all. Let's talk about demand avoidance. So, what is demand avoidance? Demand avoidance is something that a lot of neurodivergent individuals struggle with. And when you're neurodivergent, a big part of your life is asking for help from other people. I'm neurodivergent. I have to ask for help with not every single thing, but a lot of things in order for me to get them done. I need help. Even setting up this stream was kind of confusing. I got to go in, I got to log in. Once I log in, they send a confirmation code to my email. I got to go to the email and then like take that code and put it back in. I have to know how to navigate the two-factor authentication. Then I got to make sure that I'm sitting here because the sunlight's reflecting on me the nice way where I'm sitting here. You know, the melanin has to pop. I got to make sure that my iPhone is charged. My backup iPhone is difficult, right? So I have to pay people to get help with a lot of basic things, or things that people would characterize as basic. So whenever I can do something for myself, it feels really good. It makes me feel like I'm not a basket case. Like I'm not relying on the goodness and mercy of friends and family and employees to help me get things done, right? When you're neurodivergent, you struggle with a lot of things like that. And you know that if you want to be as productive as other people, you're going to have to get a lot of help. You have two options. You can either choose to get help and do your thing, or you can choose to not ask for help, which a lot of us are over here. We don't want to ask for help. And when you don't ask for help, you got to figure it out by yourself. And because you can't figure it out by yourself, you end up being frustrated. And when you're frustrated, you become irritable. When you're irritable, you may become aggressive. When we're up here emotionally, right? When we're so frustrated, irritable, potentially aggressive, it's very difficult to communicate. And that's why when we're talking about autism, if you're frustrated and you're up here, you're going to have a hard time communicating when you already struggle to communicate. So what we have to do is we have to lower the frustration, the irritability, all that stuff. As we reduce that, we improve our ability to communicate. And when it comes to demand avoidance, because you need a lot of help to get things done, you will resist things that feel like a demand, right? So let's say you're headed to the kitchen to do the dishes, and all of a sudden somebody's like, "All right, I wish somebody would do dishes around here." Or when your mom is like, "Hey, Terry, Tyler, Stephanie, please do the dishes." Even if they say please, if you were already going to do the dishes, and now they just told you to do the dishes, it pisses you off because you were going to do it anyway. Like this time, you actually remembered that at 5 o'clock, at 7 o'clock, at 9 o'clock, it's time to do the dishes. So you remembered, you set a timer, you're going to do this task. You didn't need any help to get the thing going. And then all of a sudden, the person that's in the area tells you to do the thing that you were about to do. You're going to be frustrated. It's going to make you upset. It's going to make you upset. Something as small as somebody giving you directions and you're like, all right, just give me the address. Don't like stop telling me to make a left and then right. Just tell me that. Just give me the address. Let me get the address and I'll be fine. Or when you're driving with somebody and they won't give you the address. So now you're driving with this person and they're like, make a left, make a right. First of all, you should tell me to make a left or right maybe 30 seconds in advance because now I'm all the way on this lane and I need to be over here. So it's already a lot to follow the instructions. On top of that, you want me to go 3-4 lanes in what, 15 seconds? Like for those of y'all who have driven through Atlanta, Georgia, you know how difficult it is to go from the left lane to the right lane on 285? It's frustrating. Like you're gonna piss me off. Stop talking like that. You know, the demand avoidance, and the unfortunate thing about not understanding demand avoidance is that neurodivergence runs in families. So if you have ADHD, if you have autism, dyslexia, so on and so forth, there's a good chance that your parents may have it too. One or both of your parents may have the condition that you have. But if you were diagnosed at 28 and your parents never received a diagnosis, now y'all are walking around and y'all are undiagnosed, or they're undiagnosed, but they don't have an explanation for the behaviors that they exhibit. So now they're just going to keep frustrating you. You're going to keep frustrating them. Y'all are going back and forth. Y'all are butting heads, not knowing that demand avoidance is the reason why y'all are struggling. It's tough because when you're being punished because of demand avoidance, like a parent who has an insubordinate child or somebody who's disrespectful, you're gonna try and punish the child more because like you're gonna get to this whole thing about, oh, kids today aren't respectful. These kids, they're using the internet to do whatever. Kids are running around here making the rules. They're not paying the bills. If you're gonna be in my house, you're gonna respect me and you're gonna follow the rules. And I agree that parents are parents, kids are kids. Rules have to be followed. But if the child is struggling with demand avoidance, then punishing the child is going to make things worse. It's not going to make things better. Things are going to get worse because now you keep punishing this child for them trying to get autonomy. They want to feel like they can do things on their own. And on top of that, it might be a modern parenting type of thing, but a lot of parents today struggle to just let their kids fail. You want to solve every problem that your kid has. Let the kid go outside and fall. Let kids fail. When I was a kid, we used to play basketball until the street lights were off. We used to go outside, you fall down, you trip, you play ding dong ditch. You might do it on the wrong house, somebody beats you up. Like we live and we learn. But when you try and make decisions for your child, you're going to create eventually an adult who doesn't know how to think and make decisions for themselves. So one thing that I like right here, Laura on Facebook. Shout out to Laura. Laura said phrasing a demand with options can help. When you have a bath later, you want XYZ in it, or do you want A, B, C in it? Makes it seem like a choice. So Laura gets a love of the show right there. Love of the show for Laura Bradshaw on Facebook. This is how you would address demand avoidance. You will give the person options. That's a really good way to address it. Because the reason why you're so frustrated is because you feel like, I have to do this thing. Like kids and showering. I'm an adult. I don't feel like showering every day, and I'm a full-grown adult. But I gotta go out in the public. I work out, X, Y, and Z. So even on difficult days, I force myself to shower. But sometimes I won't lie. I go to the gym, I get sweaty, I come home, and I hop straight in the bed. I know I should shower, but I don't. Sometimes it's hard to shower. As a kid, you feel the same way. You don't want to shower. Who wants to shower as a kid? No one wants to shower. But if you give the kid options, then they feel like they have a say in the matter. But when you're neurodivergent and you don't know that you are neurodivergent, you struggle with trauma your whole life. You're going to have a hard time giving up control of things. So you're parenting your child not knowing that you're neurodivergent. They're undiagnosed neurodivergent. So you're trying to, you're fighting for your autonomy and they're fighting for their autonomy. And we're going like this. The solution's over there. The solution's like back there. Y'all are fighting, but you're fighting the wrong battle. You're fighting the wrong battle. So you're being somewhat effective, but not efficient, which is the neurodivergent struggle. Stephanie says, my question is, how do I ask my child to get a bath shower and not demand her to do it? Okay, let's role play. Stephanie got a daughter. Let's say Stephanie's daughter is 12. I'm just making this up. Stephanie is trying to help her daughter take a shower without making it feel like a demand. So Stephanie can give her daughter options and say, Rebecca, I grabbed some new towels. I got a red towel, and then I got a blue towel. Let's say that Rebecca's two favorite colors are red and blue. So now you have an option. You have the ability to give your child options to where they feel autonomous. So the child has two towels, a red one and a blue one. So now you approach the child and say, "Hey, Rebecca, it's about that time. We gotta get ready for bed. So shower time. Would you like a red towel or would you like a blue towel?" Right? And notice how I said it's shower time. You don't say, "Hey, Rebecca, you gotta take a shower," because when you struggle with demand avoidance and you hear, "You gotta," "you need to," "you have to," like I'm grown, and if somebody tells me that I have to do something, I'm like, hold up, hold up. I don't have to do a goddamn thing. So stop talking to me like that. So if you say you have to shower, somebody who is fighting for the autonomy, when they hear you have to, they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. It's, right. They're a child. So, the household that I grew up in, the parents are always right, and the kid is always wrong. Which, as I grew up, I realized that was childhood trauma, right? But if you know that your child likes these two towels and you phrase it this way, it's shower time, red towel, blue towel, which one do you want? Now the child is not thinking about the fact that they have to take a shower. They know that it's shower time, so I can take a shower if I want to, but I don't have to take a shower. Okay, cool. So it's shower time. I guess I'll go with the blue towel. Let's go with the blue towel. You grab the blue towel and then you head to the restroom and you cut the water on. You begin the process of taking the shower. And if you're neurodivergent, you probably struggle with executive dysfunction. So starting the damn thing is difficult. But I can guarantee you, if you get into the restroom and you have the towel over your shoulder, right? And you cut the water on, that's 90% of the work. Now we just have to, go inside and just scrub my balls and just get clean, That's all. But the way that you phrase things to your neurodivergent child, partner, spouse, employee, coworker, um, is going to be key. Is going to be key. People need to know that they don't have to do that thing, right? Like, do you have to file your taxes? This is a bit personal because I haven't done mine yet. So it's a sore spot. I'm like, damn, I need to get these taxes in. You don't have to file your taxes every year. Some of y'all may or may not know that. You don't have to file your taxes every year. Might be a newsflash for some people. It's highly encouraged to file your taxes every year. I don't know which ones of y'all have been in jail or what you know about jail. It's not a nice place. We don't want to go to jail. So it would behoove you. You ought to file your taxes every year, but you don't have to. Nobody comes to your house and prevents you from leaving the house until you file your taxes. You don't have to, but you should. You should. Giving people optionality leads to happiness. Well, it leads to an increase in happiness, right? And the lack of options is one of the biggest reasons why people are upset, right? So when it comes to autonomy and needing to have some type of say so over what you're trying to accomplish or what is being asked of you, you have to understand the words matter. The way things are phrased are very important. And for example, Alexis, how are you? You have so you got 3 years to file your taxes, which, as somebody who has ADHD, don't tell me that I have 3 years to file my taxes, because now I'm gonna wait until the last year to file 3 years worth of taxes. So in my head, I'm gonna just say I got every year to file my taxes. Because if I know that I have 3 years to file my taxes, my accountant is gonna have the worst migraine. But Alexis, thank you for the information. I like knowing that, but now that I know that, I'm gonna trick myself, and I'm not gonna. You have a year to file your taxes, Kojo. That's just a note to myself. Because Alexis, you know me, and I know me. So I just want to say that. Let me see. We set an alarm on our phone for the same time every night for the bedtime routine. Now we don't have to even tell her. She does it for herself. There is a way to parent where it doesn't feel like you're pulling your hair out. I do think parenting is the hardest job of all time. So you learn by making mistakes. But understanding your neurodivergence and your child's neurodivergence and the collective chase for autonomy, words matter. Like, in school they would say, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words don't hurt. That's the biggest lie. That's the second biggest lie after Santa Claus is real. Words hurt, like I feel bad for things that I've said in the past that were 7, 8 years ago. It's not a regret, you do what you can, but I still remember things that were said to me as a kid. I'll never forget. So words, it hurts. They hurt. Lucy says the key is in the delivery of the request. It takes a moment to think about, but yeah. So, and guys, so Lucy, love the show to Lucy for saying this, because I got a good point right here. The way that you talk to, let's just talk about kids, right? I was taught that the way that you talk to autistic kids is in a very sing-songy voice. So my mentor, who is a psychiatrist who's practiced for over 40 years, and he will remind you of that every single time he can. He said that the way you talk to autistic children is you need to use your limbic voice. So you don't say, it's shower time, or you don't say, it's shower time. Do you want a red towel or a blue towel? That's too monotone. You have to use your limbic voice. It's shower time. Almost like you feel like Miss Rachel. It's shower time. Would you like a red towel or a blue one? Right. So the delivery of how you say things, it kind of reminds me of, in stand-up, certain jokes work better when you take on a certain type of affect. And sometimes certain jokes work better when it's just monotone. But when you use your limbic voice, it makes it easier for that person to remember what you're saying. It's shower time. Would you like a red towel or a blue one? If I was talked to like that way as a kid, I mean, maybe I'd be annoyed, but I think I would have liked that. I would have liked that. Tara Gentry, I'm happy that I can help. Love the show for Tara. We got you, Tara. This whole community got your back. And go back to my earlier point about undiagnosed neurodivergent parents not giving their kids optionality and autonomy. You create an adult who will more than likely struggle to speak up for themselves. You create an adult who will be frustrated by, analysis paralysis. Ideas are nothing. Like, if you have an idea for something, like, test it out. If you think that this career will work out for you, who knows? Test it out. But when you're too paralyzed and you can't make decisions, there's a good chance that you weren't given that option as a kid. So you don't know how to be autonomous. You've been fighting for autonomy your whole life, but you were never allowed to make these decisions. All of a sudden, you wake up one day and you're 27 years old and you're supposed to pay taxes. You're supposed to find somebody to start a life with. You're supposed to find a job that you enjoy and you're passionate about, but can also help you pay your bills. Hard to do these things when we weren't given options as kids. And Kathleen says, that's how I talk to my little one. He's autistic as well. He's 3. Kathleen, and you see, when you use that limbic voice, it makes things better. It's shower time. Do you want a red towel or a blue one? I think that's kind of fun too. Tone plays a big part in the approach. Yeah. Justine on Facebook is saying that. Clutch. That's clutch. That is clutch right there. All right, let me see. A couple of. All right, wait. Whoopi Goldberg was a master of that type of comedy. Okay, Whoopi. I'm a 90s kid, so I remember Whoopi Goldberg. Some of these kids today don't know Whoopi Goldberg. Some of these kids haven't watched Sister Act. That's sad. I haven't watched a lot of movies, but I watched Sister Act 1 and 2. Alexa says, if my parents talked to me like that when I was young, I wouldn't have cried and had his main meltdowns. My dad used his big voice to shut me down. Not great for my adult life. And Alexis, I can relate to that as well. I wish that my parents, I wish my parents would have spoken to me in a way that allowed for me to be autonomous and independent as a child. However, as I became, of age, I realized that it is hard for an undiagnosed neurodivergent individual to manage their own life, let alone have kids. Because you have to get a diagnosis and understand yourself at a deep level, or at least at a basic level, and then get the proper help. But without that, you're dysregulated, you're chronically stressed, you're always tired, so you're always in the mood. And your kid comes to you and they want to bond, and you push off the kid, you scream at them because you're dysregulated and you're overstimulated. You don't understand your own neurodivergence, so you unintentionally, sometimes intentionally, unfortunately, traumatize your kid. Recycling guy says, nice African dads are built different. That's facts. That's facts. I have to give a choice. PDA is hard. I forget how. Yeah. The way you word things is so important. At the same time, and also, I said giving options to your neurodivergent kids and friends and the people in your life is helpful. But at the same time, I'm going to confuse all here. Too many options can be overwhelming, So this is where you realize that this is where you realize that the person you're dating is neurodivergent, and you have to talk to them in a certain way to allow them to be independent. So you give them options, but then you realize that give them too many options is frustrating them. Now they're overwhelmed because they have too many options. And at this point, you become like Tyrese. You're like, what more do they want from me? Like you told me that you didn't have enough options. Now I'm giving you options. Now you say you have too many options. Like I'm confused. Like, what can I do? And then that's when people start to feel as if, autistic people or people with ADHD are entitled. And I'm like, okay, well, you want special treatment? Because it doesn't work this way. And I tried to, and then we default into learned helplessness. What are we going to do? So this is why trial and error is so important. And also apologizing to your partner, friend, spouse, whatever, if you make a mistake, right? Through doing, you learn what's better. So most people in life really just need one thing to focus on, one or two, maybe three. So you'll figure out that sweet spot. But until you figure out that sweet spot, you probably will go back and forth. And it's helpful to have a system and maybe a safe word where y'all can just pause the argument before you say something that you didn't mean to say, but you said it because you wanted to get them emotionally. Let me see. PDA, yeah, can lead to meltdowns and frustration. Big facts. Big facts. All right. Okay. All right. I gotta get moving. Hey, this is fun. And I'm back on Twitch. All right, y'all. So I will be back on live stream tomorrow at the same time, 6:00. What is it right now? 6:30 California time. I came on. Yep. I'll be back on live stream tomorrow, 6:00 California time. That's 9:00 in New York. It's 8:00 in Nashville, 7:00 in Utah. I think Utah, Arizona, 7:00. But tomorrow, 6 p.m. California time, I'll be back. Let's get this thing popping. Let's get consistent. Let's do this. Let's talk neurodivergence. Let's talk mental health. Let's talk relationships. Let's have fun. Let's connect. I'm excited. All right. Thank you so much for your attention, y'all. I will end this stream. Thank you.